Hey guys, welcome back to the another day of Advent of Cyber 2025. Unfortunately, we were not able to complete the day 10 because of the lab issues. I'm not able to solve this day 10 because the lab was not properly configured. Like we are getting a lot of errors in terms of that. Anyways, we are starting the day 11 of the adventure. So yeah, let's learn about XSS, which is the cross-site scripting. We are going to learn the types of XSS vulnerabilities and how you can prevent that, right? So here in this lab, you do have an attack box, and you just need to start the mission. I'm just starting both of them. I'm also connecting to the Open VPN, which seems to be more convenient in most of the cases. So let me start that, and let me minimize this, and let's start this from here. Like we are going to learn about XSS. After the last year's automation and tech modernization, Sanda's workshop got a new makeover. MCSKD has a secure message portal where you can contact her directly with any questions or concerns. However, lately the logs have been lighting up with unusual activity ranging from odd messages to suspicious search terms. Even Sanda's letter appeared to be scripts or random code. Your mission, should you choose to accept it or dig through the logs, uncover the mischiefs, and figure out who is trying to mess with the MCSKD, understand how XSS works, learn to prevent XSS attacks. Yeah, let's begin. And here you can see leave the cookies, take the payload. Like for today's room, we will be using a web app found under this particular URL. So yeah, I'm just browsing this URL in my browser because I already connected to the OpenVPN. So if you're not connected to OpenVPN, then you should need your attack box and browse it on your attack box to get it worked. Okay. You can also go for a attack box to navigate it. So anyways, you will see a page like this, right? Let's review some key materials regarding potential attacks on websites like this portal, like cross-site scripting, which you can call as XSS. Like it's basically a web application vulnerability that lets attackers or evil bunnies inject malicious code, like usually JavaScript codes, into the input field that reflect content viewed by other users. Example, a form or comment in blog. When an application doesn't properly validate or escape user input, that input can be interpreted as code rather than harmless text. This reflects in malicious code that can steal credentials, deface pages, or impersonate users. Depending on the results, there are various types of accesses. In today's task, we will be focusing on reflected and stored accesses. Like we have reflected accesses, like you will see reflected variants when the injection is immediately projected in a response. Imagine a toy search function in an online toy store. You search via like this, right? But imagine you send this to your friend who is looking for a gift for their nephew. Please don't do this. So if you send something like this, instead of entering gift in the URL, you are sending something with the JavaScript injected code in which this website is vulnerable to XSS. If your friend clicks on link, it will execute the code instead, right? So the impact will be you could act, view information or modify information that your friend or any other user could do, view, or access. It's usually exploited via phishing to trick users into clicking a link without malicious code injected. Like we have stored accesses where basically it will stored in that particular website. Like once you execute it, even if you visit again and again, it will get executed again and again. So unlike reflected executions, which you just need to execute it again and again to get it worked, but in terms of stored accesses, it gets stored in the server, and whenever you reload the page, it gets affected again. It just reflected again and again, right? So that's basically the stored accesses means. So anyways, we can see the comment is saved in the database, so you'll be able to see some of these. This like attacker can run code, like if website is vulnerable to accesses, attackers can steal cookies, trigger fake login pop-ups, and deface the page, right? So how you can protect against these kinds of accesses attacks? Like each service is different and requires a well thought out, a secure design and implementation plan. But key practices you can implement: disable dangerous runtime rats, make cookies inaccessible to JavaScript, sanitize input or output encode. Like you can, we are going to exploit the reflected accesses in this scenario by using this reflected mu. So basically, this is the search. I don't know where this vulnerability is. Let me search for gift. This is how it works. So when I try to execute this script, oh, it just worked. Reflected meow meow, and we got the flag, and the flag is evil bunny. Let me answer that. Here is the reflected XSS flag. So, which type of XSS attack requires a payload to be persistent on the backend? So it may be it will be stored XSS because it gets stored and it requires a payload to be persistent. You can also read about stored XSS attack when malicious script is saved on the server and then loaded for every user who views the affected page. Unlike the reflect XSS, which targets individual victims, stored XSS becomes a set and forget attack. Anyone who loads the page runs the attacker script. So that's basically it is. So yeah, we just exploited and we were able to get the flag, right? So yeah, inject the code by adding the malicious payload to the search bar by clicking the search messages. So here we can see send messages option is here. So search messages option. So we just exploited that, right? Already, right? And if we were able to get the answer, like you can track the behavior and how the system interprets your actions by checking the system logs. So yeah, you can just check the system logs. Here it is. So you can see what happens when you inject this. It will be in or read as system logs, right? So whatever executed will be logged in the logs in their system. So yeah, like that you can also send like we have what is stored XSS. What's the stored XSS flag? So for this demonstration, we can also know that we have confirmed reflected XSS. Let's investigate if it's expectable to store XSS. This vector must be different as if it need to be persisted. Looking at the website, we can see that you are able to send messages, right, which are stored on the server for mcscd to view later. As opposed to searching, which is stored temporarily on the client side, navigate to the message form and let's try to execute the same one. So this is basically the basic XSS scripts. We can see we can just inject this and click send message, so it's stored and you will be able to get the flag. Your message has been sent to MC Skiddy. Thanks for contacting Sandra's workshop. So yeah, we just send the message to MC Skiddy. Whenever you loads this page again and again, it will get executed, right? So that's basically the stored XSS means, right? So this is the recent message. So when you try to reload, you will be able to see it get executed again and again. So this is what stored XSS means. You don't need to execute by yourself. It will automatically execute it again and again, right? So we can see that this is the basic XSS checking command, like script alert of something in between and the script tag close. So you can also search for XSS payloads online to get from the GitHub. So you'll be able to get a lot of XSS payloads, and which might be useful in your real life scenarios. So let me show you something. Like the XSS payloads will be available in the GitHub, like not just that one that you see there, but also there's a plenty of XSS payloads that is available. So let me check if it is available. So the cover server is unavailable right now. So yeah, these are some of them. So you can also search for a lot of things, like a lot of XSS payloads will be available online. So you can just search it by yourself and you'll be able to see a lot of a lot of XSS payloads, not just this this normal one, but just a lot of XSS will be available. Okay, so yeah, that's all about this room, guys. I hope you learned something new from this video, and thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.